So, back to English. I don't know. Is there anybody to whom English is a problem? Apart from me, because anyway, sometimes I relapse. When I cannot find a word. Well, thanks for being invited. Thank you guys for coming and spending your 1 hour, 2 hours here, listening to our story. Maybe it's a little bit strange, the title of the whole story and the presentation, but you will understand why I like this very much, because I do believe that digital transformation cannot be done on the usual way. Dance or mic? Okay. Okay. Even video. Okay. So I strongly believe that this is a true sentence, that in order to make a successful digital transformation, whatever company is doing, wherever you are doing, a new way of working between business and IT or technology is needed. Without that, based on my experience, it will never work. Our story, and you just mentioned, Tomasz just mentioned that I am from MOL. Yes, I am working for MOL. I am on the payroll of MOL, but I am not a MOL guy. I have nothing to do with this large organization with the rigid rules and all these kind of things. The way of working that we are following is absolutely different, and hopefully you will see and understand it by the end of this couple of slides. Our story started something like five and a half years ago, let me say, when 2030 strategy of MOL has been published. And the strategy just included that, yes, the company is going to highlight everything what is retail and consumer services is doing, and digital transformation will be one of the main driver of the growth of retail and consumer services. And it sounds very well, but in the meantime, no one in the company knew what is the content of digital transformation. And this is when I was hired, and one of my, now I can say, friend was hired. We started this whole journey, 2 of us. Today we are 190 guys working in this so-called digital factory. So we started at that time, 2 of us, first of all, started to put together a strategy, and now you will see what is the monster that we have already built in, and hopefully you will like it and you will find it not a monster, but something which is really driving business value. Just a couple of words from me. I'm not really a typical technical or technology guy. If we see my past, I started my career in the business. Half of my career I spent in the business. I led digital business transformation in different positions in different countries. And when I was fed up with the business, somewhere middle of my career, I decided to switch to the technology side. And in the last 10, 12 years, I am leading digital transformation projects and programs. In the meantime, I fell in love with Salesforce and with MuleSoft, so I started to learn it. And you will see it has a footprint on our technology background as well, that I like Salesforce. When we, as I mentioned to you, we started 5 years ago, and the first task at that time was just to put together a strategy, just to be able to sell to the company why is it good to spend, I don't know, dozens of millions of dollars on this whole journey. And it took a good half a year to put together this strategy, creating the customer journeys and new features, business features, just to make these oil and gas people understand what does that mean, digital transformation, why is it important, and how to do that, how to create business value. It took us half a year, but finally it was approved by the top management, and that was the moment when we really started to work on that. And two guys, actually at that time we were three of us already. We were sitting there and in a certain situation when the strategy has been approved, and okay, what's next? We had no clue how to start it and what to do next. We had the budget, we had the approval. Okay. We knew two things. The first is that data is very important. At that time in the company, data was not taken really into consideration properly. We had fragmented data everywhere. The data was not accessible. I guess you know the story when you ask, okay, how many invoices we created. If you ask 10 different people, 10 different people gave you the 10 different answers. So we knew very well that first of all, we have to do something with the data. And the second, we knew that whatever we are going to do, mobile application is an important something, because this is a kind of premier channel or primary channel to our customers. So these were the two areas we started to work. And we created a data warehouse. At that time, we called it data lake. I'm not saying we had no clue what is the difference between data lake and data warehouse, but again, if I asked the group CIO what is data lake, he had some certain definition. If I asked one of our data guy, by the way, we had anyone in the company who was dealing with data at that time, so we were able to ask only outsiders what is data lake. We got different definitions. So we were just three of us or four of us at that time, standing in a foggy and darky office of mine, and we started to put together, architecture, how it should look like, and what should be the design, both business and technology design, to build up a proper data lake. And this is how we started. We don't know, or we didn't know what should be the technology. We didn't know really how to put it together. We had no one to whom we could turn within the company to ask for some help. But finally, it's going quite well, I have to say, nowadays. And this was our first, one of the first delivery that we did. We decided it was not Salesforce, and it is not Salesforce, but Azure. So you will see a little bit later that we are building on 3 different platforms. One of them is Azure, because of some certain reasons. So we built up the data lake, and we created the first generation mobile application, which was, like the old guy, a little bit shaky. Some function was working better, some function was not working well, but it was ours, like in the tanú. Kicsit savanyú, kicsit sárga, de a miénk. But it was a very good lesson for us, both building up data lake, and sorry for that, today it's not a data lake, it's a data warehouse, but we are still calling it data lake. So it's so much in my mind that I will call it data lake. As we are doing, everybody in the company knowing that technology-wise it's also a data lake, it has a data lake layer, and having several data warehouse layers as well. And we created this mobile application. At that time, it was very funny because we created the mobile application without backend systems. I mean, we had no really backend systems capable to support a mobile application. you can imagine, oil and gas company. I mean, our systems are not really planned and developed for fast-moving products and frequent changes. So the first generation of our mobile application is not is rather a back-end heavy than front-end heavy, which is quite funny in case of a mobile application. But this was given. I mean, this is what we had to take into consideration. This is how we had to build up this first generation mobile application. And yeah, somewhere in 2018, we were very, very proud when this first generation mobile application has been rolled out in the first country. To be honest with you, I think so. At that stage, very few people in the company believed that what we are doing, it will have a certain, it will deliver a certain value. Here, still, I mean, okay, we got the money, we got the budget, we got some certain freedom because it was included in the company strategy, but very few people believed in us. And then we passed 2019, 2020, when two very important things happened. The first one is that we formalized our operation. In the first 2 years, we had some couple of people who were working in business. There were a couple of people who were working in IT, who wanted to change the world, who wanted to work differently. I had several and continuous crises with my IT colleagues who are coming from the old type of IT. Okay, we are working only on processes. Never mind if the process doesn't support the real life. We have the process. This process has to be kept. We are doing our work, but we don't care which kind of business value we deliver because we are IT. We are not we do not have a P&L, but we have a cost, and this is what we have to focus on. We were quite different. I mean, I would say I would wish to say young guys, but I am not, and I was not even at that time a young guy. But we had something different in our mind. We wanted to change, not the world, but at least the company. We wanted to change, and we did believe in value. I mean, doing something, not just to have the job done, but to deliver some certain value, just to enjoy what we are doing, just to be able to proudly walk through on the corridor and make the other people feel that, yes, we did something, we put something on the table. This is the money we earned, and this is the money what the company or the profit the company earned. And the company was able to earn this profit because of us, because we are smart, we are working hard, and we are delivering result. So in the third year, we got the approval to formalize somehow our operation, and this division within consumer services, which is called Digital Factory, has been set up. And in the first 2 years, we were continuously, suffering from the rigid processes which an oil and gas company has. So every day we were just fighting, and my colleagues were always laughing on me when, at the end of each meeting, I told them, okay, it was very good, let's continue and keep fighting. But this was really the situation, because when you would like to start to work, let's say, on a different way, let's call it agile, okay? Within a big company, you can imagine an oil and gas company, an average project takes 2-3 years. And then these guys are just coming who are working in the retail, and they are promising, okay, we are going to roll out one complete solution in 6 months in one country. Nobody believed it. And even the processes didn't really supported it. So first of all, at the beginning, I would say we just simply didn't kept the processes, you know, just, okay, if we will be caught, we will lose our job, but on other way, we cannot really be successful. And when Digital Factory has already been set up, it meant that we managed to implement new processes compared to the other part or the other pieces of the company. You know, I mean, in an oil and gas company or large corporation, if you would like to spend on something, you have to go back. There are some certain committees. You have to prepare documentation, I don't know, 150 pages. You have to go there and you have to give the reasons why you would like to spend this money. They are saying yes or no, or they are asking, okay, documentation is not complete, make the completion, come back after 1 month. And can you imagine an agile world which is working like this? It's impossible. So we just said that, okay, we would like to have a yearly budget. We are not working on project, but we are working on products. And we would like to follow development of product, or we would like to follow product life cycle, and we would like to make product life cycle management. So we would like to have a certain annual budget. Of course, we prepared our roadmap, which includes what we would like to do, what the budget we would like to spend for, but we wouldn't like to come back, and we cannot come back in a digital transformation that if we would like to spend, I don't know, $200,000, with this decision we cannot wait, I mean, for 6 months, because in 6 months we have to deliver a complete solution in 1 or 2 countries. And finally it was approved by the top management. To be honest with you, still I don't know the reason why they approved it, but finally they approved it. And then we could start to speed up quite much our delivery. As you can see, the generation 1 mobile application we rolled out in new countries. Right now we are working in 10 countries. So everything what we are doing it for 10 countries in this CE region. And maybe you have heard that MOL Group is acquiring new businesses and new networks quite extensively in other countries. So maybe we will have 11 or 12 country as well. So the generation 1 mobile application has been rolled out in new countries. The data lake and the data warehouse also has been implemented in new countries. Now we can say so that something like 5 countries, which means 80% of our turnover has already been linked into this data warehouse. And this is one of our products which is very, very popular. And we started to work out this rewards program design, which I will explain you a little bit later. What does that mean exactly? What you have to know is that everything what we are doing it based on a business case. I mean, if there is no business case for something, we are not investing money on and energy on that. And you know, when you are just IT alone, it's quite difficult to do that. When you are IT and business together, and this is the beauty of this digital factory, that we are not an IT division. We are a business division. I am the only IT or technology leader who is not reporting to the group CIO, but to the business leader of the group. And in our digital factory, business and IT colleagues are sitting together. not just physically, but generally as well. We are sharing the same KPIs, we have the same bonus systems, we are not paid to implement new systems, but we are paid to earn money. So we have a roadmap, which is 5 years, yes, and it's quite extensive, I would say, and enlarging every year. But I am not paid to implement Salesforce or any other system. I know exactly that how much profit my systems should, or our systems should deliver. And if we are delivering this profit via our systems, I will get my bonus. If not, then it was very nice. We worked a lot. We got tired, but there is no bonus. And the other beautiful things of this way of working is the fact that I guess you have already, all of you maybe already had the situation when something went wrong and finger pointing just started. Business said, okay, stupid IT, guys, it's your failure, not mine. IT is saying, okay, these idiots are not able to tell me what they want, so how can I do it? This is the conversation you never hear in our organization. If we fail, then we fail together. And there is no IT, there is no business. Everybody is working for the same target, just to earn money. And we know very well that if we are doing our job properly, we are earning money. By the way, if we implement a new system, it means that from the next month, we already start to measure back what is the extra profit that we are earning via these systems or business capabilities. It also means that we are not there to implement systems, but to create new business capabilities. And these new business capabilities are built just if there is a business case behind. So if we feel so that, I don't know, a new customer registration system would bring us, I don't know, extra $1 million profit or EBITDA, and I don't know, it would cost us 200,000, then we are doing it. If there is no business case behind, then we are not doing it. Simple mathematics, because what is important is not what we invest, but what we invest, what we earn, and if the difference of that is positive, then we have to do it. If it's negative, then it's better not to do it, because just to get tired, I mean, it's not worth to work. And this setup, when IT and business people are working together, also helps another issue or difficulty. Maybe all of you has already met the situation again when people trying to build up spaceship. Okay, I am the business, I would like to have this capability, even I know which technology I would like to use, and I would like to have this and that and here and there. And instead of building up this kind of spaceship, we have already learned how to use this MVP methodology, or this minimum viable product methodology. And our business colleagues accepted it, because, you know, it's again not IT who is saying that we wouldn't like to work, so please accept a little bit less functionality, but they saw what they can win, or what we can win. If we are doing an MVP, which takes, I don't know, 3 months, then it's already on the market. We can start to earn money with this MVP. In the meantime, we are just listening to the customers. What are the additional functionalities they would like to have, or what are the functionalities that we have already implemented but they wouldn't like to have and they are not using it. And we are building in to the phase 2 and the phase 3 and the phase 4. Once again, we are not working in project, but product. And this is the difference between the two. When you are working in project, then, you know, project is done, I'm okay, I have already gave it and transferred it to the operation, I don't care anymore. The product is my baby. I am responsible for the product. Every product has its own owner. They are like, you know, this mother lions. If anybody would like to touch their products on a wrong way, they are just protecting it, whether they are working in the business or in the IT, because they feel the ownership, and they are building the product for themselves, because they are the one who are using the product, and they are the one who has to earn the money using that certain product or set of business capabilities. And from that moment, we started to continue we continued our work. We created the second generation of the mobile application, which is different not just in look and feel, but by that time we have already had some certain backend systems, like Salesforce, for example. So the generation 2 mobile application is really a mobile application, a front-end heavy, and it has its own backend systems, Salesforce, Informatica, Azure, connected and integrated by MuleSoft. So it's really a product we can be proud of, and we are proud of, to be honest with you. Data lake and data warehouse, we continue to roll it out in other countries, and we also started some analytics projects. Because, you know, having the data and creating some predefined dashboard for the business and for the clients, it's one thing, but running analytics project in another one. And the reason why I'm saying creating for the client, we are in a little bit strange situation, because in one hand, we are working together with some certain service companies or service integrator or whatever, a couple of companies like this. So we are the client, but in the other hand, we also have our own clients, the business and of course the customer, the B2C customer. So sometimes it's a little bit strange that we in one meeting we have to behave as a client, as a customer. In the other meeting, when we are speaking to our clients, we have to act as a service company. But this is very good, because we have already noticed which are the mistakes that the service companies are doing when they are working with us. And it helps us to avoid the same mistakes when we are the service company and we have our clients. And it gives us the luxury to learn a lot of things free of charge, let me say, what we can integrate to our daily operation. And you know, learning is priceless. If you can learn quickly, it means that you are earning money and you are creating value. We started to create our rewards program, and we started the implementation. I will speak about it a little bit later. And it was also very important just to set up an all-new IT service management system. You can imagine the products and the systems of an oil and gas company. You can imagine the IT service management system which is supporting it. I mean, in a large company like in MOL, for example, you have in one system you have maybe one release in 1 month or 2 months. We have 7 releases per day. Yeah, between 5 and 10, let me say, releases per day. For that, you need a different IT service management in every pieces, and we had to work it out and implement it from scratch. And what we are planning to do, and we are still working on that, the Generation 2 mobile application rollout in new countries. Now it's running in 3 countries. When I'm speaking about mobile application, it means the backend as well, which is Salesforce and different component of Salesforce, MuleSoft, and some other technologies as well. We have already implemented the rewards program in 3 different countries. We are also working on payment solutions, different type of payment solutions. Pay at device, you know, when you are paying at certain coffee machines in our shops or car wash in next to the shops. And we are also working on a mobile payment solution when you can pay with your mobile phone, not as a wallet, but as a mobile application for the fuel at the dispenser, at the pump. Now we are just working on the implementation of B2C commerce solution, and we have already implemented B2B sales. It was another team, so I would like to focus much more on the B2C part. This will be the next one. It's better to work it like this. So if I should summarize somehow and put together to service offerings what we have already created, or capability sets, let me say, then this would be the picture. As you can see, there is a B2C part and there is a B2B part. At the middle, there are some certain service sets or capability sets which can be used both for B2C and B2B. And data and AI, data analytics, it can be used for both of the business units, B2B and B2C. Customer service, this is also something which is usable for both of the line of businesses. And mobile payment is the same. We have a rewards and loyalty, which you will see a little bit later, which kind of, not capabilities, but which kind of systems are supporting. By the way, is anybody who has on the phone MOL Move? Okay, guys, this is what we are. When I'm just finishing with one word's rewards program, this is what I'm speaking about, and all the engine which is working behind. And the B2C commerce, as I mentioned to you, we have already started to implement it just recently. So I hope so in a couple of months you will see it in the real life. By the way, I met one of my ex-colleagues from Switzerland couple of weeks ago, and he asked me, okay, what will be the difference between Amazon and MOL market or MOL B2C commerce? I told him that look, the only difference will be the technology behind. Everything else will be the same. And you know, Swiss guys are really very proud, very adult, and he's just telling me, look, you are a little bit over self-confident, right? I told him, look, of course, I mean, this is my job to be self-confident, otherwise this whole story would never happen. But yeah, we have really a lot of good ambition about this B2C commerce. And when we are speaking about the rewards and loyalty, we are not just speaking about the mobile application. When you are receiving, for example, a scratch card, for example, on the mobile application, it's not just by accident that you received it on that certain moment. I wouldn't say that we are checking and following when you are opening your emails and we are sending you out at the proper time, but at the end of the day, this is behind. And these are business capabilities, and this is the architecture which is supporting these whole things. I think so. We can say so that the backbone is Salesforce, right? We are using a couple of Salesforce modules or services. As you can see, first of all, concerning to the customer touch point, we are really trying to give to the customers, to the B2C customers, really an omni-channel experience. Wherever you are starting your journey, whatever you are doing, you are able to do it on an omni-channel way. You can start something in one device, you can continue it and finish it on some other device. We have, as some of you know, the mobile application. It's already running in 3 countries. In Hungary we call it MOL Move, but it's also running in Slovenia and Croatia already. A different version, but we are sitting in the same org in Salesforce. Web page, not surprisingly, is also based on Salesforce. Community page, this is what we are using. Yeah, POS is not Salesforce. These are the cashier machines at the stations and the shops, since Salesforce doesn't provide these POS softwares and solutions yet. But if they are coming up with it, maybe we are going to buy it. We have the usual contact center, we have emails, we have WhatsApp and Viber applications, connected applications, and yeah, screens, which are quite powerful tools. We have close to 2,000 stores, and each store has 3 or 4 average screens, and we are capable and able to automatically direct which kind of content should appear on the screens. So we have the capability, if we know what is the weather outside, and we know, because there are some weather suppliers or weather data suppliers. If it's raining outside or cold outside, of course, we are not going to put on the screens cold drinks, but hot tea, because most probably when it's cold outside, hot tea is more favorable for people than a cold drinks. And this kind of tricks, what we are also capable to do that. As you can see, we have the mobile front end, back end. All the backends are connected to Salesforce and the other components as well. As I mentioned to you, we are running on Microsoft Azure, our data lake and Power BI for the visualization. And you can see only 3 logos over there also, although there are a lot of business capabilities here. And the reason is quite simple. We do believe building on platforms. Maybe you know your company or other large corporations who would like to cherry picking and saying that, okay, now for each kind of business functionality, I would like to choose the best one on the market. And I will buying from this vendor, from that vendor, and finally they are creating a Christmas tree with different technologies. And when these different technologies has to be integrated to each other, then everybody is surprised that why is it so high, my budget cost, or why it takes so long? Because 60% of the cost and the time of a normal IT project is integration. If a company is building on platforms, then all of the data is already there. You do not have to transport this data. You do not have to, I'm not saying you do not have to integrate, because integration should be always there. But you can, based on our example, we were able to reduce by 70% or close to 70% the integration need and the integration work between our system, just very simply because we are building on platforms. If on the platform, if Salesforce.com, the data is there, no one cares in which component you would like to use it, of course, with some certain limitations, but I think so it's very important. And integration project, we were able to reduce almost by half the cost and the length of our integration projects. Just very simply because we are building on MuleSoft, which is a platform. If we create an APIs or an API set, it can be used I don't know, 10, 15 times more or 50 times more. Meanwhile, if you are doing a point-to-point integration, WebLogic interface, then every time you have to do it and you have to create it again. I have some colleagues who are already created, I don't know, 280 WebLogic interface, out of which, I don't know, 30 was for the same source system. Very funny thing, right? I mean, doing 40 times the same job, it's boring. In case of MuleSoft, if you have a platform, an integration platform, you are doing something once. If you have already created some certain API set for one source systems, any other system can consume it and can use it. And you invested only once. Of course, it has to be maintained. But you have already done the job. Any kind of application or database can use it. So this was very important to have this kind of decision to build on platforms. And you know, we were criticized at the beginning that okay, this is not the best way. We should buy from everything the best one, and so on, so on. First of all, who is going to decide which is the best one? I mean, it's a very good question. And what is the definition of being the best one? So we decided on Salesforce, we decided on MuleSoft. I don't know, which one is not here, so I will not refer to the high cost of MuleSoft and the further needed discounts. Sometimes I am sad that we are using expensive systems or expensive technologies. However, I am able to tell exactly that with MuleSoft, one call in our system is 0.64 int. No one in the company among 27,000 people, out of which 850 is IT guy, is capable to tell what is the cost of a call in WebLogic or any other type of integration system. So transparency here is very, very important. And which is important is not really what you are spending on a certain system, whatever is the technology is. But the question is that what is your investment, what is your benefit, and if this business case is positive, then you made a good decision. If this is not positive, then okay, you have to go to the top management and explain why you have so expensive hobby. In our case, everything what we are doing is quite positive. We are quite well and we are quite good in terms of return on investment. Of course, return on investment you can you can calculate it on different ways. Return on investment in our case of this whole technology and business capabilities and technology and technical capabilities here is less than 3 years. So in IT, I think so, but even in business, everything where you have the ROI 3 years or less than 3 years, I think so, it's something really good. The big learning here is that it's not enough to create a Formula One car like this. I do believe it's really quite a Formula One car, but you have to train the drivers. And this is the other things that we are doing when we are speaking about, let's say, marketing cloud. In Digital Factory, we are not just implementing marketing cloud, but we are also teaching to the countries how to use it, how to bring out the most, or how to benefit the most from marketing cloud, for example, creating campaigns, how to create a campaign, not technically, not just, okay, you have to sit down, this is Salesforce Marketing Cloud, this is how you create a data extension, this is how you create a customer journey, and so on, so on. No, but thinking logically, which kind of campaigns should be run on a certain period of time, why, how to do A/B testing, why A/B testing is important, which kind of customer journeys you can create, why send time optimization, using of send time optimization is important, how much money you can earn if you are sending on a proper time to a certain customer the proper message. And everything is measurable. Everything what we are doing, finally it's measurable. And this is the beauty of digital or technology or everything which is related to technology. You can measure it almost immediately or after 1 month, but you can measure it. And it's black or white, whether it was a good investment or a wrong investment. If it was a wrong investment, you can further investigate why it was a wrong investment, because of the technology or simply because the people are not knowing how to use, and not the technology. Maybe sometimes you conclude that maybe the people are not the proper people. They do not even know the business, what they are running. But you can help them to show where they are doing the mistakes when they are running their business, how to correct it, which kind of solution technology can bring them to correct these issues or these mistakes. And of course, as I mentioned you earlier, the IT service management. First of all, we had to learn how to work on agile way. And one of the biggest learning is that there is no pure agile way. I mean, you know, there are these certain phrases and buzzword. Every company would like to work agile. There is no pure agile. I mean, when we are creating a certain technical solution or documentation, I mean, you cannot do it on agile way, in sprints and on a funny way. No, I mean, solution architect, technical architects, developers has to sit together and with business people, and they have to think it over. It's another thing that when you are doing the implementation or within the implementation, within sprints, yes, you can do it on an agile way. The other learning is, okay, agile way is one thing, but we also have waterfall projects which cannot be done in agile way. How to match these two words, and this is where SAFe helped us a lot with, you maybe know, these release trains and with different roles, how to merge and how to match the two words, the slow and different way of working of waterfall and the quick, fast, more flexible, agile. And you know, when we said that, okay, we are going to work in agile, most of our colleagues said, yeah, there are no rules anymore. Agile is not like this. No rules anymore. Even more rules. But you are using different rules on a different way. And this was also taking time for us to learn it. That, okay, agile is not equal to chaos and having no rules. And how to use Jira and how to use Confluence and all these kind of things on a proper way. I mean, being agile, but in the other hand, having proper documentation. I'm very proud because we are hiring quite fast new people, also IT and technology people. And everybody who is coming to us and starting to work, he's just saying, look, you have a very good documentation. I am coming here, I am checking the documentation. In 1 weeks, I can understand how your system is working, how your business is working. And to be honest with you, I think so it's quite rare nowadays, not only in Hungary, but in other countries as well. And although we had a good documentation and good quality of documentation, we are not sacrifice the speed for the documentation. So we managed to find a way how to keep proper and create proper documentation, but in the meantime keep the time and keep the speed, the continuous speed. And we are using DevOps and CI/CD. It was also full of by learning. You know, first of all, we said, okay, DevOps, we would need it. Is there anybody in the room at that time, 3.5 years ago, I asked them, okay, can we define DevOps? Then 5 of my guys were coming with 5 of different explanation and description. What means DevOps? And then we find our way. So we worked out how our DevOps is working, or the same with CI/CD, which processes we should use, how to use CI/CD in Salesforce. We have no problem with this components, but here with Marketing Cloud, you will never be. No, sorry. Maybe Salesforce is going to make some further steps, but today there is no chance for you to work on CI/CD with Marketing Cloud. No way. You have to do a lot of manual work. So, I mean, all of our end-to-end processes, or most of our end-to-end processes, are going through on Marketing Cloud, at least 90% or 80% at least. So we had to find a way how to use CI/CD pipeline and CI/CD way of working, knowing that we have a component which is not capable to provide CI/CD way of working. And then I remember something like 3 years ago, I think so, it was maybe Jan Michalski, who had me to have a discussion with one of your colleagues in Deloitte and Germany, maybe, I don't know. And I was trying to, just to understand what we should do to be able to use CI/CD pipelines and DevOps way of operation. And he said that, look, László, the first thing what you have to do is test automation. And I remember that I was very, I'm not saying angry, but upset after the call that, okay, this is the best advice of the guy to make test automation. Okay. Now I have to say that after 3 years after, or 3.5 years after this discussion, that yes, test automation is maybe one of the most important thing if you would like to work CI/CD versus or DevOps. Without that, it's impossible to do that. In our case, we just measured it, something like 65% of our test cases has already been automated. And when we got to the certain decision point, whether we should invest into the test automation or not, we just made one experiment with 10 test cases. And we just measured before the investment was done, and average this 10 test cases, one test case average took something like 22 man days to make an end-to-end test. With test automation is 0.1 man day. So you can see the difference. And especially, normally when 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, developers are just committing the code, they are just measuring, and it's uploaded to, we are using Azure DevOps. And after the code is committed, the build has been set up and built up, and automatic test cases just starting to run. And next day at the beginning, when the developers are coming in Jira, they already have the tickets which are the result of failed test cases, and they can start to fix them. And we had to learn it on our own skin, and I also have to learn it personally, that maybe the guy from Deloitte was right, and he was saying the proper advice. Release management, I told you that we have average 7 releases per day. Especially it's very important in the B2C world. When customers are very demanding, new campaigns has to be run every week in Marketing Cloud. I mean, if you are not able to release a new solution or a new version or a hotfix quickly, then you are just dead because you cannot survive. And yeah, automated monitoring system. This is another learning that we had, that we invested a lot of money to this architecture and to these capabilities, but we were not able to control it. You know, I mean, just very, very quickly, if something goes wrong at the point of sales in a station or in a shop, then of course the business people starting to ring the bell and saying, hey, we are losing money. And this was the main trigger why we started to build up this automated monitoring system. And now I have to say that even in case of Salesforce or MuleSoft, which are cloud systems, we have warning mechanism. If, I don't know, CPU of MuleSoft API is reaching, I don't know, 70%, then we got the proper warning. We still have 30 minutes or 60 minutes to intervene and to fix the issue, giving more vCore to the same API and avoiding this kind of disaster when the application is not working on the device of the customer, or the customer is not able to use his mobile application in the shop, because it means that we are just losing, simply losing money. We have 1 million customer per day, and you know, if we are losing just very small portion of it, it's a big loss for the company. So every minute which our system are off and not working, it's a significant loss for the company. And the last thing, coming back to this maybe stupid title, Marriage of Business and IT. This is what we have learned, and this is what we are trying to strengthen, and this is what we are doing every day. Just grouping the IT and business guys together, and it really delivers and brings some value. We also had to set up some new culture. You can I mean, technology is not a big thing. Business is not a big thing. But when you are doing a transformation, this cultural change is very, very important. Without that, without proper people, without proper culture, you will never be successful. And this is what we have already started to do from the day one, and this is what we are still doing. And you know, as I mentioned, maybe we started 2 of us. Today we are 190 all together. When these new people and new colleagues are just coming, to keep the same culture and teach them the culture that is used within the organization is quite difficult because of simply the high number of people. We had to work out the new processes, approval processes, way of working, our standards, both business and technology standards. And this is an ongoing process. I mean, you have already done it, you can take a breath, and you are going to realize that some of the processes you have already implemented and using, it's outdated. So you can start not from the beginning, but it's a circle, what we have to do. We also learned how to use safe, agile, and waterfall delivery methodologies, how safe can help us to merge these two words, the slow agile and the fast agile and the slow waterfall. It was a very important learnings that it's much better instead of working in projects to build up products, just because of the ownership. I mean, when the product is finished, we are not doing only implementation and design and strategy, but we are also operating our own tech stack. So I know very well, and we know very well, why is it important that people who are implementing just doing something, and they are not jumping out and saying, okay, this is yours, do the operation. No, It's a life cycle, product life cycle, and the product has to be grown up like a children or a child, small, and you are teaching it, you are making it more smarter and smarter, and yeah, there is a certain time which is come when you have to say goodbye. Hopefully we are still very far from this point. It's also very important to do everything what you are doing on a cost-benefit basis. I mean, doing something just to get tired is useless. If there is something where you invest, and you can invest because cash flow wise you can afford it, then you have to check what you have to invest and what are you going to earn. And if the earning is much higher than the cost and the investment, then let's do it. And yeah, what I like, the cloud technologies. I do believe that, okay, in an oil and gas company, which is strategical investment of the government, of course, you cannot put everything into the cloud. Refineries and all these kind of things will never go to the cloud because of security reasons. But once again, we are working on the consumer services and retail side, where there are no, I mean, just average secrets, like a shoe manufacturer or, I don't know, a grocery company, whatever. Why not go to the cloud where we are much easily capable to scaling it up? Of course, when a company is moving to the cloud, you have to accept that there is a new way of cost management. You know, when you are using on-prem solution, you are spending on, I don't know, buying new servers, you can calculate it. What will be your cost in the next 5 years? When you are working in cloud and you are not switching off one Azure or any other kind of switcher, and at the end of the month you are just getting the bill from the provider, then maybe you will have some bad surprises. That's why it's very important that you need a new way of working just to manage your cost when you are working on cloud solutions. But yeah, all in one, I mean, it's fun what we are doing or what we have been doing. Till now, it brought money to the company. So I do hope that in the next couple of years, we can still continue our hobby. I think so. We are on time, right? So thank you very much for coming and for listening to me. If you have any question, I am more than happy to answer it if I can. If not, John, just keep fighting. It's important. Thank you very much.